Hi, welcome to February's technique class using the Mum's Love stamp set. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to make this congratulations card. This is the Mum's Love stamp set, and in this card we're using this flower image here, which is the outline flower. So what you need to do is grab your card pack. All the card you need for the front of the card is on the front, and the card you need for the inside is on the inside of the card. So just remove the elements. You are going to need these very small pieces of paper here, so just set them aside for a moment, but you will need to refer back to them shortly. And what we're going to focus on is this small rectangle of crumb cake. So what you need to do is you need to stamp the outline flower in Versamark on your bit of crumb cake. If you have a embossing buddy, run that over your crumb cake first to take off any oily residue or any stickiness that the powder may stick to where it shouldn't. Then what you're going to do is you're going to stamp the flower repeatedly down one side, and then what I'm going to do is sort of start thinner at the top and then get fatter at the bottom. Like this. Oops. Like that. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but you'll see better when I emboss it in a moment. Then I'm going to turn my heat tool on and get it warmed up. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to sprinkle the white embossing powder over my card. And can you see we've got a little dot there? I need to get rid of that, so I always use a paintbrush or something to get rid of any excess, but that's fine. That came off easily with my hand or my finger. Now I'm going to heat emboss it. So I'd start off in one corner and wait till it changes colour. You can see the white popping and getting very, very bright as opposed to the dull powder. Keep going until it's all done. Don't do this. It's much easier if you just focus on one area and get it done before we move on to the next area. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to grab your piece of black card that was in the card pack. Put those there so you can at least see them for a moment. We're going to get this little black piece of card and we're going to punch the scallop that's just here. So how I would do that would be get my scallop border punch, line up my card and position it so as I've got the same scallop either side. Then I would punch it, simply move it along, line it up with the image. And then you will end up with a scallop that is central with the same pattern either end. And actually all we're going to do is glue that in place so just the scallop protrudes slightly. So let's just do that now. So if I line that up on my grid paper, then I can use the lines to get it nice and even and straight. Then what we're going to do is we're going to grab our piece of vellum that was in your kit, and you're going to line it up with the grid paper again. I'm going to grab the Congrats to You Too stamp, which is from the Your Perfect Day stamp set. Lovely stamp set, but I'm using this sentiment just here. Versamark again. So ink up the Congrats, stamp it straight. And stamp it centrally on the vellum. Then we'll heat emboss it in white again. I should have used my embossing buddy on that, but it's fine, luckily. So we've got our sentiment on the vellum there, and I'm going to heat set that. see that the white is starting to pop now. Don't go too close when you're heat embossing vellum. It can burn it and it can also warp it. Don't go mad and don't overheat it. So there's a nice embossed white finish on the vellum. Then what we're going to do is we're going to stick this piece of patterned paper to the front of the card. So the reverse side is just beautiful, but I just thought it was a little bit too busy for the card. So you're very welcome to turn it over if you wish, but I just thought the more neutral pattern worked better. So I'm just going to line this up and stick it to the front of my card. Then I'm going to get my congrats embossed image and my trimmer, and I'm just going to score just to the right of the S. So if I line up in my trimmer, the top piece of the vellum is straight, so I'm just going to score like so. And then what's going to happen is that's going to fold around the back of the crumb cake, and because I can stick that down, that's going to give me an anchor point. Vellum is really hard to stick down without seeing the glue. Then what I'm going to do is cut a little flag in the end. So cut up to the centre point and then go from the corner edges to the cut that you've made inwards like this. Okay, so let's get that stuck on the back there. So I'll just put some fast fuse on here in a few places. I'm going to stick that over there like that. That's then going to go on the front of our card, but I've actually used dimensionals to raise that up. So let's put some dimensionals on the back here. That's going to go on here. I'm going to go towards the bottom of the card like that. And now what I need to do is I need to get my rhinestones. You will have received rhinestones in your pack, and you need to get a little pokey tool. Whoops! So now what I'm going to do is attach the rhinestones to the centre of my flowers. I'm even going to do it on the underside. And stick those in the centre. Now when you're sticking vellum down, you've got to be very strategic about where you put the glue. Ideally you want to put the glue under an embossed finish so that you can't see the glue. And I'm going to use a glue dot, and I'm going to just pick off one of the glue dots, and I'm going to find a place where I won't see it. So can you see on the C there, if I lift that up, on top of that rhinestone there is hidden like that. So I can, and that actually is stuck down now, that's not going to come off because I've just put a little glue dot on top of the rhinestone, and that's going to stick that in place, and you actually can't see the glue through the vellum. So it's not stuck anywhere else apart from on the back, but that will be enough to hold it. So that's the front of my card, and now all I've got to do is the inside of the card. So you're going to matte layer the crumb cake and whisper white, and you're going to get your two little scraps of paper that I showed you earlier, and you're going to just cut little flags in the end there. So again, up the middle, and then I'm going to do it with the other pattern. And actually I'm going to send this as a wedding acceptance card, so I'm not actually going to stamp a sentiment in this. I'm just going to send it and write on the inside. So mine is going to look slightly different but to the finished one. So if I just stick this on and then stick this one on the other pattern slightly over the top like that, get it in place, then I can flip it over and just trim off the excess, which is the easiest way. Like that. A bit of fast fuse on the back. Get that on my crumb cake layer. And then a bit more. Sorry, I've got a bit of a gooey mess going on here. I've been a bit of a messy Herbert. There we go. Stick that in on the inside and your card is complete. So I think this is the most popular card at class just because it was so effective and we were saying how you could use different sentiments, happy birthday, whatever you wished. So I hope you enjoyed making that card and thanks for joining me.